Nintendo games now.
Hey everybody, this is Jeff of Nintendo Games Now, and I'm here just to talk a little bit about Nintendo and E3 for this year. As you probably know, E3 is next week, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about what I think is likely to be seen there from Nintendo, and what I would like to see from Nintendo. So kind of a combination confirmed predictions type of thing, but I'm not really predicting it as such. I'm just talking about stuff I would like to see from them. So let's get started, shall we? Of course, on Sunday they're supposed to have their Nintendo Direct for Smash Brothers, so they're obviously going to be talking about that. My guess would be they're going to be talking about the DLC of some sort, possibly the Lucas DLC, which is supposed to come out the same day. Maybe other future character DLC. There's rumors of Roy and Ryu, all people from Street Fighter, being included in future DLC. And of course, they have their character ballot they have been running on their website for a while to try to get suggestions from fans about who they wanted to see in the game. So let's see if they talk about that or something else. My guess would be they're going to be talking about character DLC. Of course, they might put new stages in too. They've been doing that quite a bit as well. And I wouldn't be surprised if they talked a little bit about that in their actual event on Tuesday as well, which is when their direct event, which is their little E3 stream that they do the past few years for in lieu of their press conference that they would normally do before the advent of YouTube and Twitch and all of that. But so far, what I expect to see is a lot more about Star Fox for Wii U. I think you'll probably get an actual title other than just Star Fox, which is what it's been known as thus far. And I hope they don't do the Smash Brothers route and don't call it Star Fox for Wii U, because that's very uncreative and it's just annoying to me. I mean, it's like when you have a movie-based game like Jurassic Park Lost World's coming out tomorrow. And I'm sure if they were to do a game tie-in, they would probably call it Jurassic Park Lost World, the movie, the game, which is stupid. You don't have to specify that. If people see it's a video game, they know it's a video game, and it's just ridiculous. But anyways, also they're going to be holding the first Nintendo World Championship since, I believe it was 1990, the last time they did it. So that's almost 30 years. So that's pretty cool. And I'm sure they'll probably record some of that, maybe all of it. I hope they record all of it. That'd be awesome. Because I would like to see that since I'm not able to attend, obviously being on the complete other side of the country, as I am on the East Coast and E3, of course, is in California. And so hopefully they'll do that and we'll get to watch it. And I'm sure they're going to talk about Amiibo in some way. Maybe they're going to talk about Wave 5 and give some more definitive dates for it. We've got a couple figures coming out next month, supposedly, and then some more later on in the fall. But I'd like them to give us a more concrete date. Like, I think it's Dark Pit and Palutena is supposed to come out next month. Well, when next month? Is it going to be the beginning of the month? Is it going to be the middle? Is it going to be the end? Is it going to be some random date in between? What is it going to be? Are they going to push them back to September with the other ones? Are they going to add some new figures out of nowhere? They're going to be store exclusives like they did with Wave 4 with Greninja and Jigglypuff. Who knows? I guess we'll find out. And I'm sure they're also going to have some discussion and footage of Xenoblade Chronicles X, since that's already out in Japan and they're just working on localizing it now. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that be a holiday release for this year, so sometime in December, around Christmas probably, maybe a few weeks before. And they mentioned it finally in one of their recent Nintendo Directs, Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem, which had been a no-show for a long time, and they finally talked about it a little bit recently. So I would expect them to talk about that a little bit more. I think it's due out in Japan by the end of the year, possibly early next year. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them talk about that some. And they're definitely going to talk about Mario Maker because that's due out this year in the U.S. in September, I believe it's due out. And I wouldn't be surprised if they bump that up even to August because they've been doing big releases in August for the past couple of years. Like Pikmin 3 came out in August, for example. And I'm pretty sure the game's basically done because they're going to have the event at Best Buy where you can play the game during E3. And speaking of Fire Emblem, wouldn't be surprised to see some footage from Fire Emblem If or IF. I'm not sure which one is they're calling it, but that's the tentative Japanese name for it. They haven't announced an official North American name for it yet, other than just Fire Emblem. So I would not be surprised to see some more information about that. Then just a week or two ago, they announced a new Chibi Robo game, Ziplash. So I'm sure they will talk about that in some form. Maybe have a new trailer or something. And then there's Yoshi's Woolly World, that's due out in the fall, along with some Yarn Yoshi amiibos, actually, which are the first non-plastic amiibo figures. And they'll probably talk about that and maybe do a more firm release date and obviously a new trailer probably as well. And Splatoon just came out a couple weeks ago, and I'm sure they'll talk about some more DLC for that. They are working on stages and that sort of thing, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that at some point during E3. And I know that they said they were not going to have anything about Zelda for Wii U at E3, but I think that just means they're not going to have a trailer or any kind of screenshots or anything. But I would not be surprised to see them talk about it. Just have like a round table or something like that, maybe even behind closed doors for invite only for certain members of the press. But I think that's pretty much a lot that they'll talk about it in some way. It may be very vague, but I think they're going to have some sort of presence for it, even just a talking presence, like I said. And speaking of Zelda, we got a bit of leaked news earlier this week about Hyrule Warriors being ported to the 3DS, and it's going to have some new characters included in it as well. So I would not be surprised to see that be at E3 in some form. Whether it would be playable or not, I don't know, but I would not be surprised to see at least a trailer. And I'm sure there'll be other stuff too at E3 that I haven't mentioned, but that's stuff that I think is definite that you're going to see in some form. Now, for stuff I would like to see, well, there's a bit of stuff. First of all, I'd like to see a new Metroid game. We haven't had one since Other M, which has been several years, and that one was poorly received, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them go either the 2D route on the 3DS, with 3D effects to it, but kind of like Metroid Fusion and Zero Mission were, but with the added 3D effects, of course. Or maybe even they might return to the Metroid Prime series on Wii U. You never know. And there's other new games or new versions of franchises that we haven't seen in a while that I'd like them to revisit as well. I'd like to see a new F-Zero. I was really impressed with what they did in Nintendo Land and the F-Zero mini games, I guess, for lack of a better term. They had it where you held the gamepad in kind of a vertical direction, so up and down, as opposed to the normal horizontal across method. And it was pretty cool, and I liked it a lot. I thought it was really fun, and I wouldn't mind seeing a full game done like that, or at least parts of the game done like that. I think they should do a new Punch-Out as well. The one that was on the Wii was kind of like a remake, or remaster, basically, of the original game with some new characters added. But I want to see a proper sequel with all new content. And maybe even online multiplayer. I think that would be pretty cool. And some other games they haven't had a version of in a while are Wave Race and 1080 Snowboarding, which kind of go hand in hand. And if I remember correctly, I think they were originally done by the same team even. So maybe we can get a new entry for either one of those. Personally, I'm not really that into racing games, but I always found those fun. And I'll be interested to see what Wave Race, which has been known for its really nice looking water, what that could have done on the Wii U, which is the first HD Nintendo console. Another series that hasn't appeared in a while is the Wars series, which is known in North America as Advance Wars on the Game Boy Advance and the DS, and Battalion Wars on the GameCube and Wii. And those are done by two different developers, so I'm not sure what's up with that, but I want to see them do whether it's portable or a console, I don't care. I just want to have one done by Intelligent Systems, which is the team behind Advance Wars. I don't know how good the ones on the consoles were because I haven't played them. I'm meaning to, but I haven't got onto it yet. So I don't know if those would be as good or not, but the portable ones are definitely awesome, and I would like to see another one. And then we have a game that has not appeared since the NES days, and that is Star Tropics. I did get a sequel back on the NES, but it has not been seen or heard from since. I think they had some trophies and such in Smash Bros. For it, but that's about it. So those are all old IPs, some of them older than others, that I would like to see Nintendo put out new entries for. And I talked a little bit about Nintendo Land earlier. I think they should make a sequel to that. The game, when it was originally announced at E3 a couple of years ago, I wasn't really that impressed with it, but then when I finally got my Wii U and played it, I thought it was a very well done and a fun game. And I think it would be enhanced quite a bit if it had online multiplayer. Because, let's face it, the asynchronous multiplayer thing that they had touted for a while, where you could have some people using the gamepad or some people using Wii remotes, they haven't done a whole lot with that. So there's no sense in worrying about doing local only multiplayer. They could do online for it. And there's tons of other franchises they could put in the game, even some of the ones I mentioned. I mean, obviously Metroid and F-Zero were already part of Nintendo Land, but they could do some of the other ones too. And another game I'd like to see a sequel to is Mario Galaxy. We had 1 and 2 on the Wii, and I'd like to see a third one. Those were really fun. And Super Mario 3D World was a good game, but it was not as good as the Mario Galaxy games, I don't think. That's just my opinion, of course. Now, if we don't get a Mario Galaxy 3, well, I'd just like to see a new Wii U Mario game in general that's not a multiplayer one. None of the new Super Mario Bros. Stuff, or not a sequel to Mario 3D World. I mean, like I said, those were fun, but I want something a little more substantial in the single player department. And speaking of things we haven't heard of in a while, what in the world is Retro Studios up to? They've been quiet for so long now, I don't even know what's going on with them. Are they working on another Donkey Kong game? Are they working on another Metroid? Are they working on something else? They had a lot of projects several years ago that got canceled. I wonder if they'll resurrect one of those. There's one that they were working on quite a while back called Raven Blade, which is going to be like an RPG if I remember correctly. I'd like to see something like that get resurrected and maybe see what they can do with that. Something a little bit different that they haven't done before. But if they did do a new Metroid game, I would totally be down with that. Donkey Kong's cool too, but we've had a lot of that lately, so I'd like to see them do something with either a new IP or an older franchise that hasn't had an entry in a while, as opposed to doing something that's been relatively recent like Donkey Kong. And speaking of new IPs, that's another thing I would like to see from them. They've done a pretty good job lately with that. They have Splatoon, which just came out, and that's a brand new IP, and it's done by some of the younger members of the Nintendo development teams. And obviously they did Pikmin many years ago, and they've done several new IPs on the eShop as well. So I'd like to see them do a new IP for either 3DS or Wii U or both. Maybe even have them, interact with each other, kind of like some of the other games they've done in the past. I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of new IPs. I don't know what they could be, maybe, like I said, with Retro and Raven Blade, maybe they could do like a RPG or something, which Nintendo hasn't really done a whole lot with that in the past. And they have the Mario and Luigi series, of course, and they did Mario RPG back in the day on the Super Nintendo, and they have Zelda, which has kind of an RPG feel, but not really. Hasn't really done a whole lot with that since Zelda 2 on the NES. So maybe a more traditional Japanese style role playing game could be done by Nintendo. I think that would be interesting. And I'd like to see what they could do with that. And I'm sure there'll be other stuff at E3 that we don't know about. I'm sure they'll do an indie sizzle reel like they always do, showing off indie games. And I'm sure there'll be a few surprises we haven't heard about yet as well. They tend to do that at E3. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see on Tuesday when the conference is supposed to be. It'll be interesting, and I'll be sure to talk about what all is shown once it's revealed, and we can have a discussion about it. So thanks for listening, and thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments what you want to see at E3 and what you think that you'll see at E3 as well. And we'll see you next time.
Hi, this is Jeff from Nintendo Games Now. Thanks for watching our video. If you liked it, feel free to click the like button or subscribe to our channel for more great videos like this one. And we also welcome any feedback you might have in the comments section that you can find right below this video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time at Nintendo Games Now.